Hi everyone, and welcome back to the series of videos on finding classes for your direct matriculation study proposal in Salamanca. Now, if you haven't already seen the videos on the Spanish university system and the Planes de Estudio, I would really recommend doing that before you see this one because in this video, we build on the content that were covered in the previous two videos. So in this video, what we'll be looking at is where to find the programas for the classes in the USAL website. Programa could roughly be translated as a syllabus, but the Spanish programas are actually quite different from the US syllabi. So in addition to showing you how to find the programas on the USAL website, I'm also going to take you to one and I'm going to direct your attention to what I think is the most relevant information on those programas for you at this point in your search. But first, a little vocabulary that you may run across on the programas. Clase teórica is a lecture class. Clase práctica is similar to a recitation. Práctica could mean two things. Sometimes it's shorthand for the clase práctica, but also sometimes it means the graded work that you have to hand in those recitation systems. Tutorías is a false friend. It does not mean tutorials in this context. It means professor's office hours. Okay, so in the video on Planes de Estudios, we looked at the poli-sci degree to show you the information that you could pull up on the Plan de Estudios that would be relevant to your search. And for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to stick with that area of study here, and we'll pull up a programa from the political science program as well and use it as an example. Do know that Universidad de Salamanca professors write their programas based on a university-wide template. So the model is very similar across all the different grados, and anything that we see here as a specific example will apply in general to all of the areas of study in the USA. Okay, so let's say that you are coming to Salamanca in the spring and that you've looked at the Plan de Estudios for political science. And here's a screenshot of the classes available in the first year. You've seen a first year, second semester class that sounds promising, Derecho Constitucional y Proceso Democrático, and you want to explore it a bit more by looking at the programa on the USAL website. Where do we go to? Okay, so we're going to follow the same path as we did to get to the Plan de Estudios. First, we're going to access the USAL website through the OGE Salamanca program brochure by clicking on the Academics tab, scrolling down to Course Load, pulling up the link on areas of study in the USAL Facultades, clicking on that, and that will bring us to the USAL website. We're then going to scroll down, get to Todos, which is Todos los grados, and that will pull us up an alphabetically ordered list of the grados. We'll click on Ciencia Política, and that will bring us here. We are going to focus our attention on the Guía Académica or academic bulletin because that is where you're going to find your programas. You're going to click on the most recent version and then look over to the right-hand side to asignaturas, which are divided into first-year classes, second-year classes, third-year classes, and fourth-year classes. So the class that we were hypothetically interested in was in a first-year class. So we're going to click on that, and here you have an alphabetically ordered list of all the classes for first year in political science. The one we were interested in was Derecho Constitucional. You click, and there is your program. Okay, so the programas at the USAL are very long and there's a lot of information that's not really relevant to you. So what I am going to do is I'm going to concentrate basically on three areas that you are going to be that are going to be relevant to you at this point. One, prerequisites or recomendaciones previas. Two, class content or contenidos. And three, grading or evaluación. You're, of course, welcome to explore the programa more in depth, but in the interest of time, I'm going to concentrate on those areas. So as you can see at the top of the page of this programa, we just have the basic information about the name, the professors, etc. We are going to scroll down to section 3, which is always at the USAL, recomendaciones previas. And here what you can see is that these professors recommend that you have taken the class Introducción al Estado Constitucional at the USAL before you take this class. So what does this mean for you? Basically what it means is that if you see a class that you're interested in it, but it has a prerequisite class, what you should do is go back and check out the syllabus of the prerequisite class to see what's covered in it. And then if you have a pretty good grasp of the material or you can get up to speed pretty fast, then you could keep that class on your possible list for study proposal classes. And just a reminder, even if you don't find anything under recomendaciones previas, it is a good idea to look over the plan de estudios for that grado to see what your Spanish peers have taken from previous semesters and make sure that you're set up for success in the class. Okay, so moving right along, to get a snapshot of what you're going to be looking at this class, you would go to section 5, contenidos, and there you'll just see a basic list of the main topics covered in the class. To find the grade or evaluación in the USAL, it's always section 10 here in evaluación. And what you can see is that, for example, you need to attend 80% of the lecture classes. You have to pass the final exam with a minimum grade. You have to have handed in 75% of your prácticas and have passed those as well. And your final exam is worth 70% of your grade, which is also repeated down here in this section, as you can see. So in Spain, final exams actually are often heavily weighted, but if you aren't comfortable with the exam being so heavily weighted, I would say just take note. I would not say you should eliminate this class from your list because, as I said, this is a common thing in Spanish classes, but if you're someone who really prefers not to have so much weighing on the final exam, you would just take note of that and see if you could possibly find any other alternatives. Okay, so as you can see, this is basically the end of this programa. And I did mention at the beginning of this video that the Spanish programas were quite different from the US syllabi. And as you can see on this programa, there is no day-by-day breakdown of the work you're going to cover in each class. You will have to wait until you're actually here on site and the professor gives you more information to get a more of a detailed breakdown. It will never be as detailed as in the United States, but it will be more detailed than what you have here on the Programa de Clase. Okay, so after seeing this video, you now know where to find the Programas de Clase. You know how to go straight to the most important sections, and basically you're set up for starting to look for classes for your study proposal. I would suggest also seeing the video Tried and True Tips because I give you a few suggestions there about how to be more efficient in your search. And if you're interested in looking at classes at the Pontificia or exploring what options you have there, I've also posted a video on how to look for classes at the Pontificia. Okay, buena suerte chicos y chicas y hasta pronto.